Thorndike was born in 1874 in the town of Williamsburg, Massachusetts. Thorndike received his master's from Harvard and later went on to Columbia to further his education. He wrote many books throughout his lifetime and articles, and when he died, he wrote a total of 507. Thorndike's field of study included comparative psychology, learning theory, intelligence testing, and many others. At one point, he looked to see if gender differences were severe enough that men and women should study separately, and he never found substantial evidence to sustain that claim. So Thorndike's work helped psychology progress in the field of behaviorism and functionism. Thorndike was also one of the first people to do experimental testing on animals. Before Thorndike, George Romanes studied animal behavior, but he said that animals had feelings and behaviors a lot like humans, like they could attribute anger and things like that, and many people disagreed with him. For instance, Conway Morgan had the view that animals could not have higher level thinking. Thorndike created a puzzle box to test learning, so if the animal inside the box did a certain behavior, then the door would open, and he learned that learning progresses step by step and it's also automatic. Thorndike believed that learning could be attributed to connections in the brain, and that the chance of the animal performing the behavior depended on how strong the connection in the brain was. Thorndike had two different laws. The first was the law of exercise, and the second was the law of effect regarding learning. And the law of exercise basically said that the more you use the more you perform an action, the stronger the connection in the brain becomes, and vice versa. If you don't use it, then you will lose the ability to do the action. The second, the law of effect, had to deal with the concept of operant conditioning. If you get a reward, then you're more likely to continue the behavior, and if you get punished, then the behavior will die out. He later abandoned both laws, and at least in part because of flaws that he found within them. And the last thing I want to cover is just Thorndike's identical elements theory of transfer. And this was the thought that behaviors will be the same across situations, especially if they're very similar, because the more similar the condition is, then the stronger the behavior will be.